And she's doing the similar.
No.
Is that something?
Yeah, so now we're streaming live on YouTube. So I think we can, I'm going to pause and put myself on mute.
Okay. Okay. Oh, just streaming today. Okay.
I'm here though, and I'll be fully ready to go.
I'm here, ready to go as well. I don't know why those ladies not come out yet. It's okay. If they cannot get on, you and I talk about travel.
There she is. Hey, Nashe.
Okay, Nashe.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can, but your video is super funky.
It's doing something weird. Yeah, the video is, it's like, I don't know if it's because of the virtual background or what, but it's acting a little weird. Hi, Kathy. It's like cutting in and out.
Hey, Nashe, as you know, every day I lead the dance 4:30 to 5:30. So I'm struggling to get
Yeah,
ready.
how do you say your last name? I want to make sure I get that correct.
My last name is Peng, P-E-N-G. Oh, your video? I don't know. What's wrong with your video? Nashe.
Well,
We can see you now.
Yeah, we can see you now.
hold on, I can't hear you.
Oh, really? That's why it's good that we
Audio
come out a
video
little
issue.
earlier.
Frozen now.
Is the Wi-Fi okay?
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can certainly hear you.
Okay. But now my video stopped. That's weird. Yeah, it's this virtual background. Hold on, let me try something. This light. Oh, but then it doesn't get the background. Well,
It's kind of cool, actually.
yeah, I don't.
You might just
I'll
want to
just
use
have
a
to
different
do without
background.
virtual background. Yeah.
I don't think anyone will mind.
See if any of none of these work. Okay.
Just gonna go and pause for a second here.
Yep. Hi, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Sorry, just try to get ready. I just finished to teach the dance.
Oh,
You
nice.
remember, I teach every day.
I
for
know.
4:30, 5:30. Okay, now you have a green.
Yeah, my the virtual background wasn't working, so I'm just doing without.
Hey, right now it's still a little blurry.
Oh, it is.
You
Oh, yeah,
probably
what is-
can you can sign out, come back in again to see.
Yeah, let me try that.
Okay, I think you're fine now, right? You're muted.
Thanks. The virtual background just isn't working. It's like covering my face. So we'll just go with that.
It's okay. No worries.
Perfect.
I moved to I'm at a conference right now, so I'm trying to find a soft spot. Spot.
Quiet
If you
corner.
hear- Yeah, if you hear an elevator beeping, just let me know and I'll move away from.
Right now,
Sounds
it's
good.
good. If
Right
it's
now,
noisy, you just ask others talk. When it's quiet, you talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, someone might go up the elevator. It's hard to predict, but yeah.
Thanks to the virtual backgrounds, right? So you can be anywhere. Sometimes could be in the bathroom to do the conference.
And I did text Morgan. I don't see her on yet, but do we want to just do a roundtable for a quick introduction so you guys get to know each other? And then we can talk a little bit about the flow after that.
So yeah, Kathy and I kind of exchanged, there's Morgan.
Oh, perfect.
Hey,
My
Morgan.
video is weird.
Nice to meet you all. I did not realize we're all in San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are. Hello, Nashay. How are you?
Doing well. Hey. So Morgan, do you want to do a quick introduction? We're just getting to know each other, and then from there we'll talk about the flow, and then it will probably be time to start.
Cool. Sounds good. So my name is Morgan Lin. I've known Nashay for many years since business school. Currently, I work at Amazon. I manage product teams and UX designer and product analytics teams for software development. And prior Amazon, I was at consulting and then went to Google and now at Amazon. So, but I always super passionate about helping women to grow career in technology. I do feel there's so much opportunity for women in general in the tech space. What else? I live in the Bay Area and I have two kids. They're 11 and 9.
Awesome.
Wonderful. 11:09. Nashay, today your video sim has
I don't
problem.
know. It's really weird. And I tried 2 different cameras too, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we only have a few minutes before we have to open the door.
Perfect. So let me just talk about the flow quick. So I'll do a quick introduction to the panel and thank our sponsors. Then I'll go through and introduce each of the panelists based on your bios. Vindhya, can you just tell me how to pronounce your last name so I have it correct?
Yeah, Dayananda.
Dayananda, okay.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, Kathy, one question. You sent me about your Kathy Fun Fitness. I was just going to add that to the end of your bio. Is that okay?
Yes, and that's a not-for-profit organization. I think I look at your questions. It's all
Yes.
about the career. I think it might be good to add some life element.
Okay, perfect.
So, how do we love ourselves? What do we do to, bond with our family? Things like that.
Okay.
Or community service, whatever. Because we're talking about the, in fulfillment in career and the life, right?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'll add one, like how do you manage your life and community fulfillment in addition to your work?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
You could have, I could be the one go last because a lot of people know me already. So it's
Okay.
good to have you guys talking more. I talk less.
Who are the main audience here?
So we have a few co-organizers, right? AFI is Alliance for Impact from New York. So they target a few 100,000 Chinese Americans. So MyT Coach is quite a few from Chicago. Actually, people get together to form a coaching platform to do training and coaching for
Nice.
also targeted Chinese Americans. And then, of course, we have, Dragonfly, that's a famous TV station stream. They pretty much focus on the Asian American community service. And then we have the Chicago Women Alliance organization. So we probably have at least 70% Asian Americans on today.
See, got it. How many people registered? Do we have a sense?
I don't know.
From Chicago, we had about 24, I think was the last I checked. So certainly not the numbers that Kathy pulls in through her through her channel.
We also
but-
have the Cassie Fun Fitness. And Morgan, I started Fun Fitness every day for almost 3 years. So we have almost 400,000 entries so far.
Oh, wow, 400,000.
Yeah,
Nice.
so average per day is 450 people join. So many of them will join today's as well, but they are still fitness. We have 4:30 to 6, we have 2 classes. So I just did 4:30 to 5:30. We have
Wow.
about 20
I-
instructors, all the community service.
Wow, that's impressive.
So many people come from that platform as well.
That's awesome. Oh, Kathy, one quick question before we start. Your company, is it pronounced Rocks or
Yeah, results-oriented consulting service. So it's short
Results-oriented.
for ROCKS,
Okay.
results-oriented consulting service.
Perfect.
ROCKS. Okay, I think MyT coach, could you open the door now? I think, are you guys ready? We open the door now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nasha, you could ask, where are those people from? You can see probably. But it's a busy work Tuesday, so it's hard for people to join in general.
That's true.
But it's great to celebrate Women's Day, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see some people joining the call today and would love to hear a little bit about where you guys are calling in from. So if you want to chat in, chat to all panelists where you're located and where you're joining us from, that would be great. And then we will get started in 2 minutes. Oh, good. We have someone joining from Montreal. That's excellent. And while we're filling the time, I'll just share that I'm located in the San Francisco Bay Area in Sunnyvale.
I'm in Palo Alto, San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, I'm in Palo Alto, Bay Area too.
Oh, Morgan, we're in Palo Alto. We're both in Palo Alto, but we have
Yeah.
not met.
Excellent. And we'll get the panel started in just 1 minute. While we are speaking, you can feel free to chat in any questions to the panelists through the chat too, and we'll try to catch those at the end. Okay, so it is 6 o'clock Pacific time, so we'll get started. I'm really excited to be hosting today's panel to celebrate some of the accomplished women from various industries today. They'll share their experiences and insights on pursuing a successful career. I do also want to send a special thanks to today's event sponsors. We have University of Chicago Women's Alliance, the University of Chicago Booth Women's Network, MyT Coach, Dragon Eagle TV, and the Alliance for Impact. If you're not familiar with these organizations, I do encourage you to go take a moment and read a little bit more about them, because they're all very impactful, for the most part, nonprofit organizations. And I also want to apologize, I'm having some issues with my video, so if you see me go offline for a couple minutes, I'll try to pop right back on. So my name is Nishay Nave. I'm the Group Product Manager of Consumer Electronics in DuPont at the Silicon Valley Innovation Center here. I'm also a University of Chicago MBA alumni, and I'll be moderating today's event. Really excited today to be joined by 3 very successful female executives, and they'll share their journeys, a little bit about their personal experiences, challenges, and accomplishments with us. So to start off, we have Vindhya Dayananda. Vindhya Dayananda. Vindhya is a senior executive and investor in healthcare technology. She has blended her experience as an operator and advisor in mergers and acquisitions to lead strategic investment decisions in growth stage healthcare businesses. She is currently leading an inorganic growth-driven investment strategy at Revealer. Prior to joining Revealer, Vindhya was at Oak HTFT, supporting the investment thesis generation in value-based care. She also has 5 years of investment banking experience at William Blair, leading sell-side transactions in healthcare technology sector. Vindhya holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics from the University of Chicago and an MBA from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. Outside her professional interests, she's served on the Young Professionals and Guild Board for the Lyric Opera of Chicago since 2017. Vindhya is a Sri Lankan national and has been living in the San Francisco area since 2018. Our next panelist is Morgan Lin. Morgan is a senior manager of technical product management at Amazon. She has expertise leading teams in product development, engineering, go-to-market for high-growth technology companies. Morgan has more than 10 years of strategy, operations, and program management experience. She has a well-balanced background in product strategy, engineering, and sales operations. Morgan is an ex-McKinsey consultant, project management professional certified, and holds a master's degree in engineering and an MBA from the University of Chicago. And last but not least, we have Kathy Peng. Kathy is the CEO of ROX Global. ROX stands for Results-Oriented Consulting Services, a global consulting and executive recruiting company located in the Silicon Valley. She started as an engineer and has had a long career journey. She has worked in supply chain management, global branding and marketing, sales and business development, general management executive positions with Fortune 100 companies and startups, and she has become a very successful CEO. Kathy has conducted business in over 40 countries, having lived and worked in Asia, Europe, and the United States. As an Asian female, she has climbed corporate ladders and has won awards such as Top 50 Global Most Diverse Leaders, Global Woman of the Year for IoT, Top 10 Women CEOs of 2022 by Industry Era magazine. And Kathy lives by her motto, impossible equals I'm possible. If all of that isn't impressive enough, Kathy is also the founder of Kathy's Fun Fitness, a nonprofit organization that hosts everyday led Zoom fitness classes for almost 3 years. She has about 400,000 entries to join, and it's become one of the largest online fitness platforms in North America, bringing joy and happiness to many people and families. So welcome to all the panelists, and welcome all of you for joining today's session. Just a quick as I mentioned earlier, feel free to chat in any questions throughout the session, and we'll address those at the end. And then I would like to kick off the first question to the panelists. So you guys are all very successful in your respective industries. Could you share a little bit about how you've driven your own career success? And I will kick it off to Vindhya to start.
Thank you, Nishay, and thanks for that intro. First of all, I just want to say it is so wonderful to be here. To be able to get, I'm looking at the participants here, 100+ women together on, you know, in a wonderful way to celebrate all of our achievements collectively. I can't be, it couldn't make me happier. So wonderful question, Nishay. So, you know, it's interesting as I look back at where it all began. I was an international student. I grew up in Kathmandu, Nepal. I'm originally from Sri Lanka. And, you know, as I thought about what next, you know, I obviously had the help and support of my family and my counselors, but I think thinking beyond and bigger than what I already knew, taking a big risk was really sort of the very sort of, it set the tone and the theme for the rest of my career. And I say that as I went into my undergraduate years at the University of Chicago, you know, quite frankly, I graduated in a very tumultuous time. 2009 was terrible for anyone, especially for an international student looking for a sponsorship. Oh, and hey, a job, you know, it just wasn't great. But I decided to take a different route. I took a risk again on an operating role, working between the CFO and CEO of what went on to become a multi-billion-dollar company. And that risk really paid off. It wasn't easy. I had to start, you know, in a place where there was a lot of uncertainty about my role and trying to understand my role and how to carve it out to be more meaningful to the different functions across this organization, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. But, you know, as it turns out, a lot of the time taking on a big risk and working day and night, thinking about it, dreaming about it, you know, it turns out, you know, helps make it a reality. The only other thing I'll maybe add before letting and passing on the baton to another panelist is, you know, I think saying yes to every meeting, saying yes to every conversation, being open to just about any interaction, but showing up to that interaction with genuine curiosity, it has led to all of the sort of things that I am, you know, have been able to achieve today. I'll just give you one example. Graduating from UChicago, I played tennis all 4 years. I was an All-American, and I committed all 4 years to do it. As I was leaving my last match, I remember a gentleman walked up to me and asked me, "Hey, so what are you going to do when you graduate?" And I was like, "I honestly don't know. I got to leave. I got to pack my bags. You know, I have a master's degree that I accepted in Manchester, you know, the UK." And he looked at me, he was like, "Well, why not consider, would you interview as an accounting, in a very accounting sort of role at the Cancer Treatment Centers of America?" Of course, I was like, yes. Took an 1.5-hour train to Schaumburg, navigating that. And I mean, honestly, it led to an entire career, a 5-year career where I ended up reporting to him and the CFO. And I'll just say that's just one of many examples where I've walked into a conversation and it's become, you know, it's turned into a lot more than that.
Excellent. Thank you, Vindhya. That's very inspiring. Next, I'll turn it over to Morgan to answer the same question. So you're you're very successful in your industry of tech. So could you share a little bit about what has driven your own career success?
Thank you. Similarly, I want to say I'm so grateful for having the opportunity to share my experience and have a discussion with all the audience as well as the panelists. So very grateful for everyone's time here and really appreciate the opportunity. It's absolutely my honor to be here. In terms to be success, I think it's all relevant. If I be super honest, I do not think currently I'm successful per se. But I'd be happy to share like what is driving me so far. I think currently, if you look at my resume, people say, "Oh, you are in tech. You're with Google. You're with Amazon. You're with McKinsey." It's all the shining brand behind me. and you manage product teams, etc. I think the truth is, early on in my career, I was in totally different industry. I was in mechanical engineering, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was passionate about. And I think one key driver for helping me to get here, one is be okay to explore. Don't set too much limit to yourself. Through my observation, I do notice women tend to set more limitation to themselves, saying, "Oh, that's role too big for me," or "Will I be qualified?" So, if you set limit to yourselves, the rest of the world will give you the limit. If you do not believe you deserve that opportunity and deserve to try, no one else will. So don't set limit on yourself. You can dream and become to whoever you want to be and whatever you want to achieve in your career. I think probably limitless, that's probably one of my keywords to drive me here today.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you, Morgan. Kathy, how about you? Can you talk a little bit about how you've driven your own career success?
Thank you, Nashe. First of all, I have to thank you. Big thank you to you. Everybody online. Can you guys imagine? She just gave birth to a baby 10 days ago. 10 days ago. In our Chinese or Asian culture, you at least bed rest for 1 month. You're already kicking and already helping the community. Really, really appreciate your help. And also, for those who don't know, Nashe went to China to study. So she was a student at the Tsinghua University, one of the top university. And, then she went to University of Chicago. It's amazing. You're constantly investing yourself. So it's wonderful to get to know all of you. So look back of my life. Morgan, I'm with you. So for many people think about success is your wealth, your status. In my own definition, I don't consider myself successful for the general definition. But I would, I always tell myself I'm very satisfied with my life. So my life, there are 3 things has been driven me. Number 1 is have a big dream. A lot of people heard I'm talking about my story. At the age of 6, at my birthday, I still remember, I will never forget that day. I said that I wanted to travel far. I want to go to as many countries as possible. So because of that dream has been driving every single of my decisions throughout of my career. So from electrical engineer, went into supply chain, went into sales marketing, and the rest is history. So I have been conducting business over 50 countries. So that's having big dream. That has been driven me. But of course, I've been moving quite a bit. That's a long story. How do I raise 3 kids with traveling over 2 million miles? So I was the first one walking into the global service lunch at Chicago as an Asian American woman. So that's 1, have a big dream. 2, it's impact driven. A lot of us, doesn't matter women or men, always think about, what is my level? What is my responsibility? What I should focus on. So what I'm thinking is, don't care about what your title is. Don't care about your specific responsibility. What impact you could bring to your boss? What impact you could bring to your teams? What impact you could bring to your organization, to your company? So if your impact is there, you can get promoted, right? You can become executive, you can become C-level. So focus on what the impact will be, not only at work, but also at the communities. So that's the impact focus. Number 3, which Nashe mentioned, my motto, impossible means impossible. Like I mentioned earlier, with 3 kids, I still remember, when my kids were all under 3, all under 5. My kids are very close in age. I have twins, then the little one was 2 years apart. I was traveling so much, people say it's impossible, right? But because with this right mindset, with the right partnership, with the right supporting system, you made it possible. Of course, there are many, many stories I could share how do I manage it, but today we don't have time. So impossible is impossible. As Nasha also mentioned, I started a fun fitness since the shelter in place. So by March 28th this month, we are going to celebrate 3 years, every single day. So nobody could believe how possible. No fitness club has been open every single day. No single class has been on every single day. So we made it happen thanks to over 130 volunteers and over 400,000 entries. So impossible is impossible. When you keep that in mind, things will happen. So that has been three elements, as driving me all my life. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for those sharings. I heard some very consistent themes around taking risks, not limiting yourself, and then, focusing on impact. So we will certainly dive into those a little bit more later on in the session. But I do want to switch gears right now and talk a little bit about, managing your life and community fulfillment in addition to your work, because we know that you're all focused on driving success, but also how do you fulfill yourselves at home or within your personal life. So let me start with Morgan.
Sounds good. Little context. I have 2 kids. They are 11 and 9 years old. But I'm also grateful. I have parents live nearby, so have a good supporting structure. So to answer your question, how I take care of myself, I would say I was not good at it, or at least I was not consciously doing that until like pandemic, believe it or not. Because after pandemic, I start to practice yoga. I have nothing better to do. Through practicing yoga, I recognize the power of being aware of my own health, my own feeling, and recognize my excitement, frustration. It's actually, and also take care of my own health. That's becoming, the more I become aware of those things, the more effort I would make to make myself feel good and feel happy and healthy, and then to become a better cycle altogether. So I would say probably exercise, yoga, and that is my routine activities to make myself help myself find inner peace. I also started to do a lot more reading. I listen to more audiobook, and because connecting to and learning from people from those books actually helpful for me. I try to read a variety of different topics. Some could be about career success, or some could be just fun love stories. I do feel give me a Zoom just by myself is important, both emotionally and physically. And if you ask me this question like 3-5 years ago, I was thinking, oh, carve out 1 or 2 hours by myself on the day is like a waste of time or so, too luxury. But later, now I have a very different perspective, because we all, probably lots of women have family or team you need to manage, right? So one thing I recognize is if I'm not happy, I cannot take care of the rest of people who need my attention. That's just a reality. I noticed, to be honest, last quarter I was under a lot of stress, even at work. I felt like my team's actually happiness denominator, we do regular survey, actually dropped because I was not very happy. And this month, I just myself, actually, I can see an immediate impact how I communicate and share my vision with my team members, and my team's, the team connection score and overall happiness has increased substantially. So view yourself as a leader, take care of yourself. It's very, very important. At least that's my belief now.
Well, that's great, Morgan. And very good feedback on how, fulfilling yourself can also affect others around you. So thanks for that. Vindhya, could you share a little bit about how you find fulfillment outside of your work?
Yeah, happy to. And I'll pull off of a little bit of what Morgan talked about. So for me, it's really 3 legs of a stool. And a lot of that, the first category, I broadly put it under just deep meaning relationships with people that are important to me, whether that's family or friends. I make an effort to reach out, talk to them, have conversations that either are, macerating in my mind, or I just want an opinion. But having someone to call is, I think, ironically, the longest data study on the human condition that, is done out of Harvard said, basically the best indicator of longevity is meaningful relationships. So I think that's turned out to be true for me, especially as a transient that's, gone from one country to the other. The second, I'll say, is most certainly my health. It is sacrosanct for me to start my day off with at least some type of exercise. For me, it's either long distance outdoor cycling or running, and on the weekends, golf, if I can get out there. Yoga is reflective to me. It's a way of calming the mind. And one of these, there's a iteration of multiple permutations for everybody and what they gravitate towards, but don't shy away from even just a walk is considered good for your mind and your body. And so it's a non-negotiable for me. The third, I will say, is following my passion. And that has become, for me in recent years, the form of work. I love what I do. I absolutely love it. I look forward to the mornings. I get up, I follow every detail because I enjoy it. And when I look at the holistically, these three sort of legs, I haven't had all three until this last, couple of years in this role that I have. I've either worked super hard at, working out and representing my country or whatever in tennis, and dedicating my life to get, my academia, or, I had tons of good friends, but never all combination of the three. And when the three come together, it is, you will notice a change in your own sort of evolution.
Excellent, and nice framework for us to think about our own fulfillment in life. Kathy, do you have anything to add on fulfillment?
Yeah, I think, both of you already mentioned, right? Love yourself is most critical, right? That's why in Cassie Fun Fitness, every day we're talking about how to love yourself, how to let go, how to invest yourself. Invest yourself, not only exercise, but also always learning, always growing, right? So that's what I focus on, and build a bonding relationship is key. So for past few years, I have been sharing a lot of stories with everyone. Like, I love to watch docudrama movies. So I would ask, what are my kids watching, right? Then when I watch whatever kids love to watch, immediately you could have a conversation with them, because that's what they recommended. And they also feel very happy. Wow, mom respects my recommendations or judgments. Then you really form this strong bonding, and with your husband too. So of course, every day I have to spend so much time and energy with Cassie Fun Fitness. And I got my family, every single one of them, unconditional support. And also, chase your passion. My passion actually was in tennis before, but with this Cassie Fun Fitness, I had to give up. That's one thing I still feel a little bit, uncertain, is when I will have time and energy pick up tennis again, because I was a 4.0 right now. I probably dropped to 1.5. Anyway, just be happy, be healthy. That's, I think you set up that example for your coworkers, for your family members, and then people could see, could feel how happy you are, right? Come from bottom of your heart. Thank you.
That's great. So we talked a lot, I think, in the last question about the importance of building meaningful relationships. And I think that's important both in our personal and professional life. So I wanted to switch back to career and talk a little bit about how have you guys leveraged some of your networks like University of Chicago, Alliance for Impact, or other affiliations and groups to influence your career? And I'll turn it to Vindia first.
Yeah, great question. So, and I'll just say, if it's not even Chicago, fill in the blank, right? Every network has value. So I'll kind of answer this broadly. I had mentioned that my exit out of UChicago was through a UChicago connection, and I went into the Cancer Treatment Centers of America with that, with that understanding that there is a massive alumni network and there's strong connectivity. I actually did a very bad job of cultivating it outside of trying my darnest, my hardest to ensure that I had a path to business school. And so when it came time to decide what those business school decisions would be, I chose the University of Chicago. And because my network, again, led back to the University of Chicago, I was able to connect so deeply with a lot of the admissions folks. I was able to connect with all of the students. So I started before business school and applying. I basically looked at everybody I knew, coming out of the undergraduate program. And I reached out and I started to say, hey, like, where did everybody go? What did everybody do? And sometimes it was a little overwhelming to, like, are you going to receive me well? I know the last time you saw me was 5 years ago or whatever. It didn't matter. It's just the overwhelming response was, hey, I'd love to talk to you. I'll tell you about the GMAT. It sucks, but you'll get through it. Like it was just such an overwhelming response overall. But that's the University of Chicago. I will say, after I left the Cancer Treatment Centers of America and then William Blair, I think I talked to an individual from one of those firms every week, if not every other week, because keeping up with that network, cultivating it, reaching out, even if it's just liking something on LinkedIn, maybe even saying, hey, congratulations on your new role. Can you tell me about it? That becomes so incredibly important as you start to think about, hey, what is my career? What is the sort of sphere of influence of my career? And it no longer becomes just about where you went to school or the alliances around that school, but rather more broadly, how did they spread out? Because you'd be surprised how far 6 degrees actually go. But so yeah, let me pause there and I'll pass it on.
Thanks, Cynthia. Morgan, anything to add?
Yeah, I echo what Vic just said. Really think about longer term and broaden your network and make an effort to keep in touch with folks. I have to be honest, Nashe, you are my role model here. You're always so good at maintaining friendship and staying in touch with folks. Actually, I'm terrible at staying in touch with lots of folks. But similarly, I would say be open to reach out to people, right? And maybe from your old school or from the same country or folks from same hometown or from the same company. You actually have every of us actually have many different networks we could leverage. So really be open to reach out when you need help. If you haven't done a fantastic job to maintain all the touch point like what I have done. So be open to reach out when you need to. People are generally by nature very helpful. They want to advise to other folks, help other folks when they can.
Very helpful. Thanks, Morgan. Kathy, how about from your side?
Yeah, networking is a big topic, right? We all realize how important it is. I'm a recruiter and also executive coach. I tell people over 75% of middle to higher level opportunities are through networking. Nowadays, even the junior positions through networking. So networking relationship is power. When you have relationships, you get information. Which companies are hiring, who is the hiring manager, what kind of positions they're hiring, right? Which company promote women, right? Which company is very good for women. So those are very, very powerful. But past few years, because of the pandemic, a lot of people feel stuck. How do I network? I cannot even meet with anyone. I cannot even network with my own family. So thanks to Zoom or any other social media platform, so we could stay connected here. So talking about the University of Chicago, as we all know, University of Chicago is a worldwide night, right? So I still remember one of the things mentioned to me, Cassie, you might be the one been to most countries worldwide night because on that night I was in London, was in Helsinki, was in Paris, was in Taiwan, was in Chicago, New York. So it's wonderful. Whichever country you go, happen to be in that day worldwide, the same night, we're celebrating alumni night. So that has been very, very powerful night. And talking about the Nashe, I still remember how I met you. Do you remember? So I met Nashe. It's a very interesting experience. One day, one of my recruiters called me and said, Kathy, there is this brilliant young lady you have to meet. I said, oh, really? Oh, I remember you went to University of Chicago, right? I said, yes. Oh, this lady also went to University of Chicago and she speaks fluent Chinese and she's a white girl and she went to Tsinghua University. So that's how I met Nashe, and we have become very good friends. And the rest is history. That's the power of networking. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great tips on how to stay connected too. I think the virtual platforms are really helpful to be able to ping each other on LinkedIn and maintain that network. So excellent. So earlier we were talking a little bit about taking risks, and I wanted to talk a little bit about career progression and how do you know that you're, keeping a pulse on your career, knowing that you're making progress. Even in some cases, you might have to take a lateral move, but just making sure that you continue to progress in your career. So maybe I'll start off with Kathy on this one.
Many people have to make lateral moves for all different reasons, especially for women, right? Because we start a family, we have kids. For example, when I was pregnant with my daughter, that's like an unexpected surprise. My boys were just the two. And that was really, really a tough time, my pregnancy. So I took a year off. Well, that was a huge decision because, I could not really handle it. And at the time, my dad was very sick. And unfortunately, he passed away when I was pregnant with my daughter for 5 months. And the family income dropped half. So that was a tough time. But then think about, we have to take care of ourselves first. Otherwise, you just really depressed and you go crazy, right? And also, when I decided to take a job in Finland, while I have other jobs in US and Hong Kong and Singapore, and that was from big managerial position, I took an individual contributor position and went into consulting business. So because remember my big dream is to travel to as many countries as possible. So nobody would travel to Finland or went to Finland to take a job there, right? But I still remember there were like 300 American women. I consider myself to be American women and also Chinese American. There were over 300 American women members. There were only 2 of us had jobs because it's so difficult to get a job visa there. But when I focused on the impact, so very quickly, within 1 year, from individual contributor, I became the senior partner of a top consulting firm. And later I built, branches in New York, in Shanghai. So the rest, just the history. You took a lateral move to learn more and to give yourself a break and also to discover yourself. But, you get yourself ready and move forward. Thank you.
That's great. Very inspiring, Kathy. Vindhya or Morgan?
Happy to hit some notes there. So I think what I've heard from Kathy, and it's an interesting, an interesting sort of realization as she was talking through it. When I've taken a lateral role, and it was at least in one scenario, I realized I kind of flipped the script to ask myself, well, why am I considering if it's something that makes me unhappy? So at the bare minimum, it's either a better opportunity that needs to be sort of crafted that way in my mind, or perhaps, worry about what other people think, but that's a whole other equation. Or second, perhaps there's a way to negotiate something in return that makes it a much more attractive offer, right? So when I left banking and I went into a much higher, very high risk sort of role, Here's kind of how I thought about it. I liked banking, and I liked the certainty of everybody understands why banking can be attractive and lucrative. I didn't necessarily want to leave that, but I wanted to have autonomy and upside in how I was spending my time. Well, that comes at you're now having other levels full. So I said, I don't really care about the title, frankly. I don't even care what you want to pay me. Let me manage my lifestyle costs or whatever it is. But if you guys are willing to talk to me about equity and how much, and the economics, if you can make those economics interesting, then yeah, the whole world might look at it as, gosh, I can't believe that's crazy. Why would someone leave, when you have on track to do X? Well, because it meant something to me. It meant something different to me. It was an opportunity. So I think lateral moves are often someone else's narrative. So I'd encourage everyone to make it their own.
Yeah, I think I did many lateral moves throughout my career, actually probably 3-4 times, believe it or not, because I indeed did lots of exploration in my career. I switched my role from engineer to consulting, and then to business operations, and then back to product. And also I changed the industry many times, from manufacturing to consulting into tech. So as a result, because my random walk, I did ladder move many times. So there are a couple of things there. One is I'm grateful all those random wander paths give me a lot of variety of experience. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to work with many different type of people in very different functions and different industries. And the two is once come to, if I have to do a self-reflection, lessons learned, one thing I recognize is as you decide to the next move, really think about long-term first. Long-term, I'm not saying you have to know I want to be a CEO of XYZ company, not necessarily need to be your long-term goal, but really think about long-term, what you're passionate about, roughly with your best knowledge now, where do you want to land 10 years from now and 20 years from now, right? For example, you probably don't know exactly which company or role, but at least roughly if in my best dream, 10 years from now, I wanted to be a chief product officer of X type of company. You probably can have that type of goal and dream set for yourself now. And then think about if that's your passion, whether the next move makes sense or not. Because if that move makes sense, we'll connect dots to your long-term, regardless of the location or short-term pay cut or whatever, the prestige cut, loss, whatever, it probably all worth it. But if you're just optimizing, more me. One point I was optimizing, next job I want to optimizing for pay bump. Next job I want to optimize for leadership visibility. I recognize after I done it for 2-3 times, I'm just spinning in a circle without truly getting anywhere, make myself truly fulfilled and nowhere close to align to my long-term vision. But the one thing like everything I said, one thing I indeed missed was I never had long-term vision to see where I could be in 10 to 20 years. And now I feel like I'm still exploring, but I'm getting more clear on that.
Very helpful. Thanks, everyone. I think a common thread that I heard was really to make sure it's something you're passionate about and make it your own your next move. So we had a question in the chat that I wanted to ask the panelists. So there's a question about cold calling. Have you guys done cold calling through your networks, either University of Chicago or another alumni or a network affiliation? And if so, did you receive responses, like maybe approximate hit rate, or any other tips for people that are thinking about doing some cold calling? Oh,
Yeah.
and okay, Vindhya, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy to weigh in here. So part of my role is to find companies that could be good acquisitions for Revelier. And oftentimes, while you think you know almost every company that's out there, I love going out there and finding, innovative solutions that solve the problem that we're trying to solve. And oftentimes, like, I have no connect on LinkedIn, which is great. Guess what I do? Find a way, Rocket Reach, whatever. I'll see if I can find an email that works. But the email I write has to have something meaningful. It can't just be, hey, I'd love to connect with you. No, it's, you've just built this wonderful, solution that really gets to the heart of the risk adjustment problem for health plans. I've come across you in these circles, would love to chat with you. Here are some times that might work. Make it easy for them to say, yes, and then, that's perhaps the most, I spend a lot of time doing that kind of cold calling, if you will, but I never do it if it's just to see if someone responds.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Love those tips too on offering your availability so they have an easy response and a time they can directly set up on.
Yeah, I could share some of my experience more probably when I was looking for jobs. That's one part. There are two parts here. One is on the tactical side. I received lots of coaching training from Booth Business School Career Center, and they taught me a lot. Essentially, similar like what Vadia said, when to Irene's question, when you look for jobs, start with your immediate network first on LinkedIn, right? And reach out to people you know and people you had some connection with. For example, if you are a data science and you're trying to find similar jobs, you probably want to start with people have similar degree or people in the type of companies or type of roles you are interested in. Start from there. And when you reach out to them, start with a quick sweet message and talk about why it's relevant to talk to you, what do you have in common with them. And not everyone will pay attention to your message right away. If they don't respond in a week, follow up. If still not respond, just continue with other folks, right? Also, once you have a good conversation with your network, be okay to say, if you feel it's a good fit, be okay to ask saying, can you introduce me to so-and-so in your company or similar roles? Or would you be open to refer me for the job? Or would you be okay to recommend me to get to know someone else in that type of roles? Be okay to ask. The worst case, they just say no, right? Not the end of the world. You will never get it if you don't ask. The second part, actually, so what I just said is the first part on the tactical side. The second part is on the emotional side, right? Most of the times when you cold calling people, the person who feels shy and feel hurt when people don't respond, actually just ourselves. We are the only one who care and who feel some emotional damage when people don't respond. Other people don't care. So we have one priority, which is find the best job you want to land on. So just keep moving forward. Don't worry too much about like 50% of them respond or 30% respond. Who cares? You will just keep moving forward until you receive your next dream job offer. That's the goal. The rest is just a small roadblock. So you'll get over the hump. So don't just scare yourself. Just keep moving forward. Just do it.
Love that, Morgan. Thanks. And it's definitely true that we're always the ones that are the most hurt, right? Kathy, anything to add especially from the recruiting side?
Yeah, from the recruiting side, as you guys know, most times recruiters have to make cold calls. But if you have warm leads, if you have the network, it's so much easier. Also, for example, myself, I have few thousand of dancers, right? And so many students, they all reach out to me. Seriously, I don't have time to answer every single call, including some of my volunteers get frustrated. Cassie, I need you to make a decision. Why you don't even answer my call? I cannot see every single message. So sometimes don't take it personally. You have to think about the target you are reaching, how busy they are. I'll give you guys an example. One of the very, very good coach, and he's a billion-dollar company COO. So he likes to give back to the community. He likes to give career talks. Every single talk, hundreds of people reaching out to him. I need your mentorship, right? So he said, Cassie, I cannot handle it. And some people just not giving up, keep calling me, keep pursuing me. So when he opened up a group coaching class, and some people sign up, some people don't, still engaging him. So that could frustrate him as well. He said, okay, if you seriously think about the invest yourself, talking about your career development, I make my time for this group coaching, you could sign up instead of constantly chasing me, and I don't really have time. So just examples, how do you engage people? How do you, leverage the relationship, and how to invest yourself? Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So next question is a little bit similar topic, but there is a lot of market uncertainty looming, I think, and already in the works. So what do you guys do to stay ahead, or any tips for audience members?
Because I keep a corporate job, that's probably where lots of uncertainty. So I'll say this is two things how I at least telling myself. One is I think to Kathy's point early on, right? Really focus on impact, continue to make myself to be more valuable for the team, for the company, to really bring impact, to be a better leader, to be a better product strategist, etc., and to be able to influence up and down way more effectively. I think to me that is always the number one priority, because the reality is, if you were a company's employee, you just have to, one hand, you hope work for a great company. On the other hand, if company need to cut headcount, etc., there's not much you can do about it. And the only thing within your control is to make yourself to be more valuable. So regardless where you end up going, you will become, you can make it, right? That type of confidence can be built by yourself. Second one is, I always tell myself is I'm very grateful having a corporate job, because regardless how big the economy, and certainly like you see the news, like this company cut 5% and that company cut 10%, the risk and the uncertainty really is so small compared to what Kathy or Wendy have to go through when they manage startups and smaller companies. It's not comparable, the amount of the risk and the uncertainty they have to deal with. So if you're in a corporate job like me, actually I'm thinking that the amount of uncertainty actually very little compared to the ambiguity other folks have to deal with in startup world. So I'm not saying which is good or bad. I'm just saying when you felt like, oh, so uncertain, you just felt, oh, and actually people there overcome bigger uncertainty and bigger challenges. I'm actually in a pretty comfy and stable stage compared to them. And also, in case something happened to my job uncertainty, I know I can make it because I'm keeping improving myself every day.
That's great. Thanks, Morgan. Vindy or Kathy?
Yeah,
Anything
I'm
to add?
talking about, I think all of us probably will remember, expect the unexpected. You guys all remember, all the exams at the University of Chicago. You can never prepare for it, right? When you have a cheat sheet, when you review it, 100% time, when the exams come out, we look at each other, this is totally not what we prepared for. I think that really prepared us for life. Right? We don't know what is coming, right? A lot of uncertainties, but if you, build yourself, you keep investing self and have a curious mind, keep learning, right? And also don't give up. Have a growth mindset. It's like impossible, I'm possible. So you will manage the risk. You will calculate the risk as well.
Yeah, and start maybe, for me, it's like seeding conversations, always keeping up, as I said, about, talking to everybody that might be relevant to you in your next role, if you think that is indeed in your near-term horizon. And start seeing those conversations now, because think of it like a pipeline. It takes 6 to 12 months to build a true pipeline. So, expect it, as Kathy said, the unexpected can be around the corner, but at least when you have you aren't getting a cold start, if you find yourself in that situation, to call at least 3 advisors, a few folks that are doing something different, and it'll spark some type of potential solution.
Perfect. And kind of on the same lines of uncertainty and making career transitions, all of you have, over the course of your career, changed industries at one point or another. So do you have any tips on how people can kind of explore and understand what industries or professions they're most passionate about, especially if they're unhappy in their current career?
I can start. I think, especially after the pandemic, and I think a lot of people's mindset change. Life is so short. Money is not everything. I want to find the things I enjoy to do, right? I want to find a boss I enjoy to work with. So this has been driving the decision. So I think knowing yourself, do a self-assessment. We call about SWOT analysis, right? From Chicago, we all know not only Morgan, not only work on your product, do a SWOT analysis. I think every single of us have to do a SWOT analysis, which is the strengths, weakness, opportunities. What is the next one? But anyway, threat, right? So when you understand your well, and then keep an open mind for different opportunities. I think all of us have very, very diverse career. We have switched industries. We have switched occupation. And because, we also have children, you make different decisions based on your life stage as well. Like Nasha, you had a huge job. You refused it because you have this new baby. So I think it's really, you have to know yourself well, follow your own heart. Don't just look at, what he's doing or what she's doing. I have to do the same.
Thanks. All right, and kind of on the topic of personal development, there's a question from the chat on how do you balance your self-development and your children's education?
Yeah, I can take that one. I would say probably for this case, I'm taking a little bit different approach compared to lots of Asian parents and my friends I've observed, because typically my observation is Asian parents, especially an Asian mom, really devote themselves to take kids everywhere for like after school curriculum, etc. And so I have a different philosophy there. One is I believe in role modeling. I believe if I can continue to grow myself to be a better version of myself in my career or in my mental health or physical health, naturally my kids will take my lesson learned and do better than me. So I believe I need to invest in myself first. I prioritize investing in myself. Second is when it comes to kids development, I try to combine my hobby with kids development. For example, if I take my kids daughter to soccer, I would run around the track when my younger daughter plays soccer. Or if I want to do travel, I would try to use that opportunity to help kids to see the world and see things they like to see, but also travel to the place I like to do. So I'm trying to combine a little bit. So that's how I approach this topic.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Morgan. Good tips on running around the track when your kids are playing soccer.
Yeah, in India, I know you're a good tennis player. I learned to play tennis by just learning with my kids. When my kids start to learn to play tennis at the age of 4, I started also play tennis with them to practice with them. And then I kind of grew up with them. And like Morgan mentioned, the power of example, right? Like I have been leading people dance every single day for 3 years. I still remember during the shutdown time when my music is on, my kids get very frustrated, right? The music is so loud and they could not play games. So I said, hey, they use the same time to work out on themselves. Now they also have a great habit of working out every day. So this is a powerful example. And sometimes I feel so guilty. All my kids' birthdays every day, 4:30 to 5:30, I cannot be having fun or family vacation or movies. But every single one of my family members support it very much because they see the impact I have brought to the communities. They have seen how many people following dance every single day and be happy, be healthy. So I think instead of you educate your kids and tell them what to do, you do it yourself first, right? And the kids, they are actually smarter than you expected. Thank you.
Excellent. Another question from the chat. I think this will be the last question from the chat, and then we'll do one last question to wrap it up. But do you have a takeaway or words of encouragement for risk-averse people to encourage them to take risks?
I can take the one because I'm highly risk-averse because my mom is a professor in college. As I grew up in China, everything I was taught is that get the best grades, go to the best company, and take a stable job. I would say this is how you could think about it if you are super risk averse. One is you not necessarily need to take the biggest risk, right? You don't need to ask yourself to quit your job next day without knowing what to do next, right? Instead, think about taking risk as a journey. Part of the journey is about exploring what's out there, what you like to do. What that means is you could take a parallel approach, right? If you have like some part-time or a full-time job, maybe you could use your spare time to say, oh, can I flip a house? Am I actually into real estate investments? You don't need to quit job to do that, right? Or if you say, oh, I want to learn UX design, can you just pay $200 to take a Udemy class online to see if that's a topic you're interested in? Or if you want to explore like being a data scientist, can you take on a small project within your current job to say, hey, I volunteer myself, can I just partner with XYZ to help the team to complete this data analytics job? So exploring what's out there first and bring value, and gradually you will know when it's ready to take the risk. So you don't need to like all of a sudden to do the flip thing overnight, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
If I may do a 30-second, I was very risk averse. I mean, I've relied my entirety of my success in my career on tangible, predictable outcomes. However, I will say I have become more risk loving by reinventing myself. And I reinvented myself a few times over the last, 15, 20 odd years that I've been working. And it's in small ways. When I spent 5 years in investment banking, at the end of it, I found myself to be a little bit too box shaped for my own liking. So I reinvented myself. I opened I started a Instagram page on food, fitness, wellness. Why? Because it made me wholly uncomfortable. But I loved it. I loved all these things I was doing. I just wasn't sharing it. I wasn't, and I thought maybe I can start to think of myself in the way I would like to be seen. And that has led on to bite-sized pieces of taking on bigger steps in my stride, and then slowing down in my stride in other ways. So, these are, I think reinventing myself has been a way in which I've changed my sort of mindset about taking risk.
Yeah, in general, I'm a big risk taker. I think because of my big dream, right? When you want to travel so many places, see so many different culture, and that kind of decided my fate. So in my mind, I always feel like life is short. Just enjoy different things, right? As long as you're happy, as long as you're healthy. That's why a lot of people said, Kathy, I cannot hear your story. It drives me crazy because how can you drag 3 kids moving so many places, right? From Hong Kong, Chicago to Finland to New York to San Diego to San Francisco. How can you drag 3 kids and moving so much and still flying so much? So, but when you really constantly, the mindset is constantly get out of your comfort zone. Every day is a brand new day. You feel the life is so beautiful. So that's in my mindset. Like I said, my focus is not on the wealth. My focus is not on the status. It's really how to live every day and be happy, be healthy, and also learn things new, see new places, meet new people. So is your mindset.
Excellent. Thank you. Big thank you to our panelists, Kathy, Morgan, Vidya. It's been a really enlightening and encouraging discussion that we've had today. I also want to send a big thanks to our sponsors, the University of Chicago Women's Alliance, University of Chicago Booth Women's Network, MyT Coach, Dragon Eagle TV, and the Alliance for Impact. And also would like to thank our audience members for tuning in today. I've really enjoyed the discussion. I certainly had the opportunity to learn a lot, and look forward to the next event with all of you. So thank you all for tuning in today, and have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you, Nashe.
Nashe.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, for
Thank
those
you.
MyT members, you could stay online, and our Google coach, we're talking about his communication, how to build a superpower. And thank you all for those who want to stay online and listen to MyT coach has to offer for your professional development. Thank you. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Kathy.
Hey, now the floor is yours.
Oh, my goodness. Well, do you mind if I share a slide?
Go ahead. You
Okay,
have
let's
the
see.
floor.
Well, that's very kind of you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Happy
大家
Women's
好
Day.
啊，现在是 Coach Joe. Joe, you're on your screen shows Mark Nadell. You guys in same person now?
Oh, that's a strange one. Boy, they haven't had that happen yet. I think we think alike way too much. So that's probably
You
what's
both
happening.
speak multiple languages. You both
There we go.
communicate
My
code.
name is back up. Well, hello, everybody. Happy Women's Day. And today is a day of celebration, I hope. The other 364 days are days of work. So, and I would just like to announce that I'm starting a course that I actually finished 8 weeks of very recently. And this course is basically designed to help you develop what I call your superpower. And that is basically, it revolves around 4 steps. The first one is learning to speak with flow. That is without interruption, to use pauses, and to speak with that intonation and rhythm that reflects how especially native speakers speak in America. Secondly, I look at emotional expressivity. Then how do you have a goal? Let's say you want to influence someone to have a kind of emotional, not an emotional reaction, but a certain kind of decision pathway. We can use our emotions, we often do, to influence that. So there's a process that I teach for you to do that. And it's to bring more expressivity to your face and especially to your voice. Third, I look at something called the 3 C's of communication. This is talked about a lot everywhere on the net. Basically, it's to be clear, concise, and compelling. But the trick here is the art of crafting a clear and concise message is not easy. That's one. So I try and create some muscle memory structure for you. And third, compelling. What is that? That's an interesting proposition, to be compelling. So we unpack that, and then we try and devise strategies, again, to develop muscle memory through structure. Finally, there is something very seemingly intangible, but we all have it, called charisma. And charisma is a balance between warmth and your expertise, your competence. And we work within that zone. But the ideal goal, the ultimate goal, is to find your personal style, bring you to it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I thank Kathy for having me out tonight. And if there's any questions, Kathy, I can answer them, or you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only slide you have. I saw that you have a bunch of slides. MyT Coach, you have a bunch of slides for Joe's class, right? Could you put the slide up?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. You guys have some slides probably.
Yeah, so whoever sign up for your class.
Great. Great. And there it is. And those are our dates, starting on Wednesday, March 29th, running for 8 weeks. And we're limiting to 10 registrants. So those first 10 that sign up will stop there. And that's about it. It's the spring series, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And this is this is kind of an improved version. There's a lot of tweaking that has gone on, and I'm very proud of it. So, and there are a couple other features, mainly that a lot of times you are limited by your time. Sometimes we get sick. We can't make a session, or we're overwhelmed by work. The cadence of this course is pretty tough. It's every week. A lot of things happen. So I've kind of folded in a process at this special rate, because normally this is a kind of a very rich program that requires a lot of tools. So we facilitate this, your side, my side, with this one makeup policy. So I will actually help you out in the makeup if you need one, but that's only a special feature for this particular class, because I want to make it special for you. The other big thing that we're doing here that I do, and I found works in the last session I just ran, is some video recording with you. Not video, I'm sorry, audio recording, where I feedback to you on your audio recordings, and it's super helpful. The feedback from the students that I get that's probably the most valuable part of the course. So this one has all of that included at the rate, the special offering at a rate that you'll see. I don't know if that's listed anywhere here, but I think the rate.
Yeah, should it be MyT Coach? Can you move to the endorsement and the pricing?
Oh, this
is the Charles program.
I know Charles, but that's not me. There we go. That's me.
Yeah, should I have some students endorsement? I don't know if it's in.
No, not right now, but that's coming.
Okay.
The folks are very pleased with the course. That's not the issue. The course is, I really want to make this available to you as soon as possible to get folks to sign up, because March 29th is coming quickly and people need to check their schedules. And again, I only have room for 10. So this is why we're trying to make it available now. And endorsements, you'll see. Those will be coming to you in the days that follow. But I was wondering if there's a slide on pricing.
I think they have to go in this link to see the pricing.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Look it up, and everything's there. It's just a fantastic course. I can't say enough about it. I say that as someone who has worked in this field for a long, long time with Chinese. I can't tell you enough about it, because the student feedback is that it's particularly useful in the sense that it's practical. We do a lot of practice. Therefore, it's applied to work, and we see results in 8 weeks. You will see results. So join me.
Yeah, you coached so many Google employees around the world. It has proven very effective, and the price is like 1/4 now.
Yeah, I have all over the place. Yeah, I've all over the world, from South America to Asia to Europe, all over the place. And what I'm finding here, what in particular, Kathy, what I'm finding is that my Chinese students in particular have very specific needs. And this particular program suits the needs very, very well. And I'm advocating for something that's much bigger than me. I know it can help you.
Okay, MyT Coach, you can also play for if any people have any questions, just please ask or raise your hand. We can bring you up to the panel. You can ask Joe directly. MyT Coach, can you move to, for those who have not joined MyT Coach WeChat group, or please join, scan. If you're already in the MyT Coach group, you don't have to sign in. So every week we have career seminars, we have a group coaching, we have individual coaching, we have training classes. Remember, especially for those communication classes, ask for your company for reimbursement. A lot of students not comfortable to ask for the company, but like I had a conversation with many HR people. They said, the minute you ask for approval, actually you earn your respect from the company. They feel like you spend your own time investing in yourself, and they feel more comfortable, even give you, management positions. So
Yeah,
it's about the mindset. A
Well,
lot of
that's right.
companies, they have a training budget as well.
Yeah,
And
Kathy,
for those fitness every day, you could scan the career fitness group. We have exercise every single day. So MyT Coach, can you move to the fitness QR code? Thank you. Joe, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
nothing. I was just going to promote Kathy's fitness as well, but I also wanted to say, in the context of the work of what you just said, Kathy, it's very important that the company realize when you present this information to them, what you'll be learning in a class like the communication class that I'm presenting, it's invaluable. The return on investment to them with you is tremendous. And we can talk more about that in the weeks to come. I'll come back next week and talk more when we have time. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. And we also have a COO, when you move up, how to deal with the C-suite, how you advance your career group coaching. Charles's class, the series 2. MyT Coach, can you put Charles's class on? Thank you. Because this is a series 2. So he also limited students. Right now it's super special. So you could see, he's super busy, has been multi-billion-dollar company COO. He has a lot of insights and experience to kind of teach you and how to find sponsors, mentors, advisors, and how to deal with different situations, how to negotiate best offer, and how to build the confidence to be an executive. So there are some students' endorsement as well. Can you show the endorsements from class 1? So these endorsements are Chinese. You guys could read it. So class 1 students are very happy and they want more group coaching with Charles. So this class will be in Chinese. Charles's group coaching will be in Chinese. Joe's communication class in multiple language. Many in English. Joe.
That's very funny, Kathy. That's true.
You speak so many languages. You're a genius.
No, but but
And
that's
I love the fact that you kind of teach students how to act. You're a good actor. So make it more fun as well. Role play.
absolutely. We have a very good time in my class. That's for sure.
Yeah. Keep going, MyT Coach. Yeah, this is all endorsement from class 1 for Charles's group coaching. So welcome you guys to join. The special actually expires tomorrow. So please sign up. Seats are limited. And Charles is extremely busy. So he told me he doesn't know if we have more time to do more sessions this year. But hopefully this class, he will make it happen. We also have the class 10 for the general career training for Chinese Americans, class 10. So we talk about the networking. You join the class 10, you become VIP members. Immediately you're networking with a few hundred VIP members from around the US and Canada from across industries. Can you put a class 10 information? So this is already at class 10. So the minute you join, you will join every week's closed door communication learning as well. So you have 7 classes and also have case studies. So welcome to join. If you miss any class, you will get the replay. You could also make up when class 11 is happening. So welcome to join. Many companies pay for this class as well. Can you show some endorsements? So you guys could, 你们可以自己读一下这些 endorsement. 所以我们的学员们非常开心找到 找到这个团体，在这里你就找到能够认识很好的朋友，大家都是 similar mindset， 一起学习，共同成长。很多女生也是说在这里找到的娘家，也有很多女生把自己的先生带进来，也有先生把太太带进来一起学习，然后去哪里出差都有朋友，大家形成了线上线下的 strong 的 network 和 community。Okay, can you play the short video for the class? Thank you. 哇，谢谢现在在线上的朋友，还这么多朋友在线上看到我们。这个 MyT Coach 的话，主要是帮助我们美国华人怎么在职场上成长。我们有几十名 coaches get together， 有培训课程，有 group coaching， 有 private coaching， 所以你再也不用有什么压力，你再也不用担心有什么职位太大你 handle 不了。在这的话，你有 diverse 的 coaches help you， 不管是你 deal with tough boss， 还是做很大的 presentation， 还是怎么样管理上下级，或者是管理各个族裔的人，这里有很多人 handhold to help you。 所以好多朋友说来到这儿自己的压力就没了，在这儿自己就信心百倍的去 take higher level positions， 因为你有自己职场上的董事会成员，你可以找 multiple coaches， 不同的需求有不同的 coaches 帮助你。Okay, you want to play the video? Or? It's okay. So MyT Coach, you could stop the sharing and have a coach showing the video. Thank you. 哇，谢谢在线还有那么多朋友在这里听。如果你有什么问题的话，大家也可以在 chat box 里面问，好吗？这是关于这个高效沟通晋升的 class。We cannot hear the sound for some reason. No sound. You probably did not share the sound. That's okay. If you cannot play, that's fine. So welcome you all go to the website, www.mytcoach, become free member. Then you can see all the news. 你 become free member 的时候，你可以看所有的培训信息，还有讲座信息。We don't see the video.
So many professional.
We don't see the video. Can you share it? That's okay if it doesn't work. That's fine. 谢谢大家，看大家还有没有什么问题？谢谢大家加入每周二的 MyT Coach 讲座。谢谢 AFI， 谢谢龙吟卫视，谢谢芝加哥大学女生联盟会。Okay, our live stream, I think we can stop now. Thank you. OK, 还有这么多朋友们在线上，你们有什么问题吗？在这里也可以举手上来问。Recording also stop now too. Thank you.